Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. So it looks like there may be some trouble in ParaDEIse for Mortal Kombat. For a long time now we believed that Mortal Kombat was basically untouchable in terms of sales, but a report has now called that into question. The report states that Mortal Kombat 1 has just hit a new milestone of 4 million copies sold. Whilst this may seem impressive for a game that's been out for just under a year, when you contrast it to MK11's first year, it's a little bit concerning. Mortal Kombat 11 reportedly sold 6 million copies, potentially more, in its first year, so just hitting 4 million sales now is not the best look for NRS. This is still beating out its competition based on the figures Capcom released, which puts it at 3.77 million copies sold by the end of June, although as you can see that margin is as low as it has ever been. We don't have proper sales figures for Tekken as of yet, but it's important to note that Tekken was reported to have sold 2 million copies in its first month. It's also important to note that it took MK 3 months to hit 3 million copies, so in that time span it has only shifted another million. As I said, these aren't numbers to scoff at, but by MK standards, this is certainly a drop off. You might say, well, this explains the low tournament numbers, and I wouldn't say so. MK has always done poorly on the tournament scene outside of its first year, and whilst this is the worst we've seen it, basically ever, it's not dramatically different to what was coming before it. But it does seem like interest is dwindling in the franchise, and maybe, just maybe, the harsh backlash it received online has been heard by the masses. I mean, at this point it's definitely a possibility now that we see these numbers. There's also the possibility that Mortal Kombat 11 was riding the high that was MKX, which had an impressive showing of 12 million copies sold as of March 2019. So people went into MK11 super excited, but the excitement didn't quite pan out in the same way. Let us not forget how heavily criticized MK11 was online. Those same people may not have returned for MK1, and then with the added negative attention MK1 has received, it would make sense that it's not able to attract new players. Maybe our efforts to spread the message of how bad this game have not entirely been lost. For a long time I thought that all of the videos that I was making and all of the YouTubers were making was basically for nothing, because a lot of the casual gamers just seem to love Mortal Kombat, but these sales paint a completely different picture. There's also the possibility that all of the major fighting games coming out relatively close this time could have had some sort of effect on it, which is something that I would have entertained before, except that seems to happen quite often. I think it's possible that people saw the high production value of Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 and then looked at what Mortal Kombat was offering and started to scratch their heads a little bit. I have said so many times in my videos that all the great empires eventually fall, and we may be witnessing the beginning of a dark era in Mortal Kombat, where it could actually be the best thing that has ever happened to the series. For a long time, MK has enjoyed the protective barrier of the overall sales argument, and for a long time I kind of just shrugged my shoulders and thought, yeah, how do you really argue with that? If the casuals are going to buy the game regardless, then what chance do we have for NRS to wake up and actually put their backs into something we want? Well, how the turns table. It's not the first time a franchise has hit a wall and needed to reinvent itself, and it's certainly not the first time for MK either. If something's no longer working as a business, you are incentivized to change that. That's if you like money anyway, and that is if you like remaining in business. We all know Warner Bros has a long way to go. Suicide Squad's flop led to a 41% drop in Warner Bros game revenue, and to be honest with you, it serves them right. Imagine knowing the damage Sweet Baby Inc does to games and their reputation, and then saying, yeah, I'll take a full serving of that. Absolutely mind-boggling behavior. Now, I don't know for certain if Sweet Baby Inc or a narrative consultant agency was involved in the decimation of the Mortal Kombat cast and its story direction, but there's only two realistic roads here. Either Sweet Baby was involved, and so well done to WB and NRS, clearly you can't read the room, but welcome to the pile of idiots that got willingly bent over by hacks that don't know left from right. Or B, you guys actually just did this to yourself, which at that point it's like, please give the franchise to someone else. I think it might actually be worse if NRS did this themselves. At least if Sweet Baby did it, they can turn around and be like, right, we're not working with those guys anymore. But if you guys did this to yourself willingly, boy, you really do need to give it over to someone else. Now, it's real simple, guys. You had a formula that worked. Blood, sex appeal, magic, and martial arts. It's so simple and yet so effective. Some of you might be saying, oh Mike, stop being so archaic, and I'll say to you, Boulders Gate. Literally. Boulders Gate. Boulders Gate 3 sold 2.5 million copies in its early access stage and has now sold more than 10 million copies. It's developed by a Belgian company called Larian Studios, so it's not like these things don't appeal to Western audiences. Violence, interesting stories, magic, and sex appeal. It's right there. I will give you my money. Just do the bare minimum and stop trying to appeal to an audience that isn't really there. Now sure, you sold 4 million copies, but do you really want to risk it for the chocolate biscuit again after you've already pissed off your core fan base? Do you want to listen to the Sweet Baby types or me? Listen, Take my advice, take a few years off from the MK games, produce something else on a smaller budget, impress the audiences, come back at 2030, fresh and ready to go. And of course, make sure that you are fresh and ready to read the room. The audiences will forgive you. It's Mortal Kombat after all. You've got the gore factor down, don't get me wrong, the fatalities are still very impressive, but maybe don't charge for them next time. Bring back the sex appeal, stop with the MCU bullshit, hire some people that understand how to make a coherent fighting game with some semblance of balance, or don't, do whatever the hell you're doing now, gender bending iconic characters and disregarding the requests of your fans, and see how that goes for you. At this point, I don't think your shiny logo is going to save you anymore. Now don't get me wrong, I was under the impression that it was saving you, but 4 million copies against the 6 million that MK11 sold, I don't think it's that way anymore. It's not like gamers aren't buying games either. There's currently over 2 million people on Steam playing Black Myth Wukong as we speak, and I can imagine the numbers probably look somewhat similar on the PlayStation. But a single player game on Steam, that is insane. It's very simple. We want to play good games, we want to support studios that care, we do not want to trash franchises that we've grown up with. We will, however, put your feet to the fire if you release rubbish and expect us to pay for it. There is not a chance in hell that I'm going to pay for Chaos Reigns just out of principle. You guys need to learn your lesson, and I will do whatever I can to convince people to not support this. The only way to get these stupid ideas out of these games is to not give them our money. They think we're stupid enough to just accept any old gobbledygook they feed us. Well, Suicide Squad and Black Myth should be proof that this is not the case. If you produce rubbish, we will throw it in the bin. If you produce art, we will buy it. Now on the topic of Sector and Cyrax, just for those that think I have something against women in video games, because this is something that I've seen multiple times, you know, nobody would have complained if you had Sector and Cyrax in the game, because people have been asking for them for a long time, and have them as males as we remember them, but then also make new original cyborgs that are female. Female warriors turned over to the Cyber Initiative. Cool. No problem. You've got the OGs there, and then you've got a couple new young blood. Female cyborgs, we've never seen those before. It's not like you can't make female characters cool. Give them their own tragic backstory, how they came to be cyborgs as well, rather than giving them this weird Black Panther-esque suit that they have now. And boom, there you got 4 cyborgs in one game. Do you think people are going to be more in favor of you making new cool female designs, or giving them the male sloppy seconds? Do you, NRS, or anybody else that is doing this, think so little of female characters and their reach that you need to take the male ones and repurpose them as if the girls can't stand on their own? Last time I checked, people like Kitana and Melina, and I'm pretty sure if you race swap them for Carl and Mitchell, people would be pissed. Just take a hint, it's really not that hard. Stop pandering. The pendulum is swinging back, and it's gonna knock you on your backsides if you don't pay attention. It's not just games either. Let's take this one step further for those of you in the comments that think I have an issue with women being the lead or being strong in their roles. We don't care if women are leads, just do it properly. Just like we ask you do the guys properly. Look at Terminator 3. The TX was a badass character and the film was super enjoyable. Look at Alien. Ripley is iconic. The Bride in Kill Bill. I'll take another Kill Bill film any day. Princess Leia. Sarah Connor in the first 2 Terminator films. How about Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind? Yeah, we're going classic with it as well. Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games. Furiosa. Mia Willis. 11. Hit Girl. Trinity. Arwen. Cruella de Vil. Do I need to go on about the list of iconic female characters that have never had pushback from male audiences because they were done well? No. It's not that we don't enjoy female characters, it's that we don't enjoy how you've been writing them lately. Big difference. You can stop the constant name calling, bigot this, sexist that. It's not working anymore. As I said, the pendulum is swinging back. Now just stick with me here, just listen to this example. Look at Triple H. Look at how he's changed the WWE. Do you know why they've been so successful in the Triple H era over what Vince McMahon had been doing in the last 10 years? It's because Vince only listened to himself and created a product to please himself because he always thought he knew best, which is no surprise given the success he had before, and little did he know he was out of touch with the fans completely. Paul Heyman said it best: Vince McMahon created his own world, and in Vince McMahon's world, Vince McMahon is always right. Kinda sounds like these Western game developers and journalists. Triple H has been reported to be sitting in gorilla position, and for those of you that don't know that are not wrestling fans, that is sitting behind the curtain where the wrestlers walk out. He has been seen sitting in gorilla position, scrolling through Twitter to see fan reactions and calling audibles when need be. He's listening to the fans. Listening to your fans. Key words here. Fans. That means there are people that will show up for you. They are on Twitter. They are telling you what they want to see. If you don't know what that is, my email is right there, NRS. Hire me. I will save Mortal Kombat for you. Yes, let me be your savior. I'm not even joking. We are finally seeing a shift. MK is dead in the tournament world, and it may be about to be knocked off its seat at the head of the table in the casual world. All of that effort Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 went to please their fans is starting to take effect, and it seems all of the tone-deaf decisions of NRS are doing the same. And don't get me wrong, Guilty Gear is right there. Say what you want about the community, and I know a lot has been said, I just saw that Technicals video, but Guilty Gear the game is a damn good game. So what do you guys think? Will this be the fall of a once great franchise, or will it be a phoenix rising from the ashes to let everyone know just how great it once was? The recipe and the formula is very simple. There's an easy way to fix Mortal Kombat, and there is an easy way to return to those high sales figures that I enjoyed not too long ago. You can only ride the coattails of MK9 and MKX for so long before it all comes crashing down, and I guarantee you, if you follow the same course of action with the next MK game, you are going to continue to see numbers fall off. You see, a lot of this nonsense that is going on in the West right now has been going on for some time, and when these things pop up initially, they take the culture by storm, and it feels like you're never going to walk out of it, but pendulums always swing, things always come around, and we are now entering a stage where people don't care as much about offense, where people don't care as much about using vulgar language, where people are okay taking creative chances, and people don't care about pandering. Remember, if you are a person that's trying to create a game for everyone, you are going to create a game for no one. Zero in on what your fans want. Magic, martial arts, sex appeal, and loads of gore. It's a very, very simple formula. Anyways guys, let me know what you all think. I'll catch you all very soon. I hope you're enjoying your journey to the West, and I'll see you all soon. Take care and peace.